Okay, let's see. Understanding Marxism. From each according to his ability. I love this guy.
In a remarkably short period of time, the philosophy of Karl Marx changed the course of history. At the height of its power, half the world fell under its dominion, kept there by a combination of fear, terror, and brute force.
Yeah.
Then suddenly, in the late
the fear and terror that they subjected the Nazis to is terrifying.
1980s, it imploded. By all rights, this should have been the end of Marxism. But it hasn't turned out that way.
Imploded. You know, with a little push all around the world. You know what I mean? All around the world, like in Latin American countries, it imploded when we, used the American military to train death squads to murder revolutionary groups and actually train them how to rape nuns effectively. That's real, by the way. That was pretty cool when we did that. That was pretty tight. That's just a natural process, though, you know? Yeah, it's real. Look it up. Look up the El Mozote massacre. Anyway, that is, of course, when we weren't ripping through the country and stealing and extracting all their natural resources. Not even revolutionaries, non-revolutionary communists and socialists too. Oh yeah, of course. Even reformists got the fucking bullet. Okay, let's see what else he's got to say.
From environmentalism with its rejection of free markets to critical race theory, which sees white patriarchy as the source of all evil.
I love that, dude. Critical race theory, yeah. Dude, these are, Marxism is teaching people that white patriarchy is the source of all evil, totally.
You'll find Marxism at its root. The leaders of Black Lives Matter, for example, openly acknowledge their devotion to Marxist ideology. How do we explain this fast?
The Black Lives Matter people are like, it has to be a psyop, dude. I just don't. I can't. Like, everything that has come out of that organization, it just comes like, maybe I'm too brain diseased, but like the BLM, the international like BLM organization, it has to be a fucking psyop. Like, there's no fucking way, dude. There's no way. There's just no way. More likely a grift. Okay, well, that too, but
destination for something that has so utterly failed everywhere it's been put into practice. We can find answers in one of Marx's most enduring epigrams. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Marx was a poor economist.
It wasn't at first, and a bunch of those people died in car fires, and now it's been clearly... Wait, no. I'm not talking about... The BLM international organization is entirely different than the actual Black Lives Matter organizers that have all died under suspicious circumstances. That's not what I'm talking about. Those are not the same people. Actually, as a matter of fact, those people were very critical of like people like DeRay, for example, people that made it into mainstream prominence, regardless of what their background originally looked like. Those people, the actual fucking organizers, isn't the BLM organizers Marxists? Yeah, I don't think the BLM organizers are anything. Other than maybe agents for the federal government. Okay, imagine being a poor economist.
But
yeah,
a talented journalist.
Loser, dude.
The only actual job he ever had. He knew how to turn a phrase. But what does this slogan even mean?
He knew how to turn
According
a phrase.
to what ability? According to what need?
Marx was a poster and a slob. That is for sure. The one that... I mean, he's going back to like Marx's entire worldview is designed around his envy for the wealthy, even though like his homie was pretty fucking wealthy. I mean, literally had a factory and I don't know if he was like super envious of Engels, you know? He would either be the best or worst Twitter poster. No, Marx was disgusting. Like lived in filth, didn't take a shower, would be up for many, many hours throughout the day. And then, and sometimes throughout the entire night, would write for like hours and hours and hours and hours, and then sleep during the day. He was crusty as fuck. That's at least what the cops said when the police were spying on him. Don't get any fucking dumbass ideas. No, you are not like Karl Marx because you also don't shower.
And who determines anyone's ability or anyone's need? Marx never bothered to answer these obvious questions. He had much bigger things on his mind. Nothing less than the creation of an entirely new kind of world.
I like that. He's like, he's just basically fucking saying like, no, someone has to do that. Like someone, It can't be up to the individual. I thought you were a fucking individualist. Like, what's up? Yo, these fucking capitalists, like they dropped the fucking pretext of like hyping up the individual so quickly when you are seen as like when you have an opportunity to be like, well, what about when someone else when someone is personally fucking deciding on that? You know what I mean? It's like, well, no, you can't do that. Someone has to do it. Someone has to make you work at gunpoint. Remember when the Chamber of Commerce was like looking for new ways to get people to go back to work when people were just not going back to work? And they were like, all right, we should just like literally, I don't know, force people back to work at gunpoint. I remember.
Than the creation of an entirely new kind of world for an entirely new kind of human being. Marx believed that by altering man's economic and political institutions, he could alter, or even better, rewire the human brain. He could conjure a new consciousness that would replace the old false one. This new man would be less selfish and acquisitive and more altruistic and communal. In short, he would be a superior type of man.
Wait, but we do that already. That's what's going on under capitalism. He's not wrong. Yes, exactly. No, that's like the fact that the very notion that you think that this society is designed around greed, and the very notion that people personally fucking believe that they too are a temporarily embarrassed millionaire or billionaire rather than the abused, exploited proletariat is straight up because of that. You can talk about it like it's a fucking lobotomy or brain surgery, but yes, that is true. That is what's happening under capitalism, and that actually reinforces. What the fuck? My microphone is falling apart right now. He also says only after communism is achieved can we do that. Yeah.
Of course, this new man could only reach this goal if he wasn't preoccupied with having to earn money. According to Marx, money and the pursuit of it ruined everything. Marx hated money, maybe because he never found a way to make it.
Wait, what?
Getting rid of it was central to his worldview. Once a person's
Dude, everything revolves around like individual envy, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, no, he was just like, yo, I fucking hate money, dog. This content is dope. This is fucking fire. It's great because it's like you can use both forms of here. This is falling out. I can't put it back in.
subsistence, one's daily bread, was distributed on the basis of need rather than greed, man's natural communal affections, long suppressed by his capitalist overlords, would be renewed. This is Marx channeling the 18th century French social thinker Jean-Jacques Rousseau, one of the few people Marx admired. According to Rousseau, this is what you must do if you want to create a new society. He who dares to undertake the making of a people's institutions must feel himself capable of changing human nature, of transforming each individual who by himself is a complete and solitary whole into part of a larger whole from which the individual receives his life and his being. Understand this, and you understand not only a key feature of Marxist thought, but the dark history of the 20th century.
I mean, this isn't wrong. Like, yes, if you personally fucking lived under like, the current organization of the economy 100% guides all avenues of existence. Like, all facets of our life is, yes, guided by the way that the society is designed to uplift and reinforce capitalist hegemonic attitudes, okay? Pro-capitalist hegemonic attitudes. So yes, saying that a different organization of the economy is possible and would lead to many benefits, such as people having time to focus on themselves, people actually changing their attitude to focus more on community. That's not incorrect. And for a Republican, supposedly, or a person who is like supposedly fucking, American liberal, you know what I mean? To personally find this to be a bad take is so strange.
Marx took Rousseau literally. Human nature had to be returned to its allegedly pure, selfless state before capitalism with its Enlightenment and Judeo-Christian values.
Okay, first and foremost, human nature is a fucking idiotic argument regardless. It's a fallacy. Our entire existence is built upon overcoming nature, so that's really dumb. Secondly, before capitalism and its enlightenment of Judeo-Christian values, what the fuck do you mean? Even Judeo-Christian values predate fucking capitalism, and we're not as such. This idea that like fucking Jesus Christ was a capitalist is a silly one. But not only that, but also primitive accumulation, primitive communism is a much longer period of mankind's existence where there was no such profit incentive. And that's simply what Marx is mentioning when he talks about like a different organization of economy is possible. And even if you were to claim that like nature plays a role in this, even from a natural perspective, we have lived as hunter-gatherers, and we have lived in primitive communist organizations for much, much longer than we have as a capitalist society. That's it.
Values corrupted him. But creating this new man would be a formidable task. Marx anticipated that many would object, especially the owners and managers that had a large...
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why they would fucking object. By the way, this is so funny, the way that they're like showing the owners and managers, like they're doing like unironic anti-capitalist agitprop by doing this. I think it's pretty funny to do so.
...stake in the capitalist system. Friendly persuasion wasn't going to get the job done.
I mean, it's true. It hasn't, and it failed. And it's not like the fucking capital owners engage in friendly persuasion. Friendly persuasion is just icing on the fucking cake on top of many different methods of control. So what the fuck does he mean, friendly persuasion? It's not friendly persuasion when the police force is used to destroy fucking striking workers, okay? To fuck over the picket line. It's not friendly persuasion when Amazon changes the fucking red light outside of the Bessemer facility because they realized that like organizers were standing outside of that red light and actually were able to talk to the workers that are leaving the factory without having overseers overlooking them. That's not friendly persuasion. Friendly persuasion isn't when Coca-Cola uses death squads to murder Colombian labor organizers. That's not friendly persuasion, motherfucker. What do you mean?
Only the ruthless application.
Yeah, friendly persuasion is when healthcare is tied to your fucking job. That's one of the most interesting parts about being anti-capitalist in the United States of America is that like America is in the final stage of like capitalist exploitation, but also in the final stage of capitalist commodity fetishization as well. So in a weird way, it's harder to bring about like any kind of class solidarity amongst the working class because we're too consumed and we're too consumed with our own personal base desires that are being like functionally fulfilled, and food prices are stable across the board. So like those needs are somehow relatively met, and like the poor are pushed away, and you can actually use them as a fucking example of what will happen to you if you don't actually work super hard, right? But also at the same time, there are so many aspects of our existence that is so inhumane and so fucking cruel that it does have a radicalizing effect, okay? That radicalizing effect is food prices not so stable. Okay, first and foremost, brother, I'm Turkish. Trust me, in the United States of America, there's a couple things that it's a little bit better than the rest of the world. When I say stability, I mean like trust, okay? It's definitely more stable than what it could be like. Primitive accumulation and enclosure demonstrates that coercion is at the heart of capitalism. Exactly. As I was saying, wait, what the fuck was I saying? What was I talking about? God damn it. I got caught up in the fucking food price instability. Oh. The way to recognize and to be able to radicalize people and do agitprop is also relatively easy in America because like I think in many ways it's like harder for people to recognize that they're being fucked over if they have some of their needs met. Because like social democracies have given, welfare states have given new breathing light into capitalist organizations of the economy. They've actually they've stopped the inevitable contradictions from playing itself in the way that it normally would, right? Which is what makes it even harder. I'm not an accelerationist by any means or anything like that, but obviously that is part of the reason why it is really difficult to radicalize and push for even further change in countries like that.
Of state power would be up to the task. Marx was all for it. Private property, wage labor, competition and profits, these would have to go. The state, now run by the workers themselves, the dictatorship of the proletariat, as Marx called it, would control production and pricing. It would wisely manage the economy, from each according to his ability.
Yeah, dude, totally. Because we don't have any sort of centralization right now under the capitalist economy. There's no centralization. Subsidies, for example, or I don't know, any kind of like federal control, federal regulation that comes with no additional fucking scrutiny even. Like, for example, when a company knows full well that they'll get bailed out in times of need by the taxpayers so they can fucking engage in stock buybacks instead of like, I don't know, and continue to eliminate redundancies because they know that like the government will fucking protect them no matter what happens. That sort of understanding is really cool. I love that. I love when capitalists are like, yeah, dude, it's wonderful that we have a totally capitalist economic organization with no centralized control. The only difference right now is that like you're paying for it, you're actually working in the fucking fields, and then your surplus labor value is being taken from you, and then those people are fucking literally feeding back into the machine to ensure that there is more corporate welfare, and that you can't get any of that because that would be considered a moral hazard. Okay. And then those very same capitalists that are taking your surplus labor value are able to design the system in a way that suits them, it suits their needs, and they do personally benefit from a centralized economy.
The economy, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. And imagine how wonderful it would be. No more ego, no more self-interest. Instead, everybody working for the benefit of everybody else. Peace, love, and harmony. For many, it's a very seductive idea. Who wouldn't aspire to live in such a world? Look around, a Marxist might say. The powerful exploit the weak, crushing the majority's noble aspirations, your aspirations, just so they can have more. It's unfair and unjust. How much better if we just start over, start clean? That's the Marxist socialist dream.
Wait, this doesn't sound bad. What's going on?
In real life, it's a nightmare.
Oh, never mind. I love that he was like, all the things that could be good, actually, well, they're bad. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, hey, you want all those good things? Well, guess what, dude? All those good things would actually be bad. And then like fucking guitar, like a guitar riff in the background. Ha! Got you, dude. You fucking got no response, bitch. I'm a capitalist now. Yeah, it was Robot Rock. I was singing Robot Rock.
Become demands, and demands become rights. The best are mocked, and the worst exalted. Innovation withers, while the government grows ever larger. Eventually, the productive become virtual slaves to the unproductive, and the society collapses economically, intellectually, and morally. And then the real...
Yeah. The productive become the unproductive, dude. The productive become virtual slaves to the unproductive. Yeah. Under a socialist order of the economy, we are going to take the fucking business owners and subjugate them. We are going to ensure that these capitalist pig dogs living up atop their ivory mountaintops. I'm fucking up. I don't know what I would say there. Whatever. And there we're going to turn them into servile dogs for our desires. Their
and the
ivory
society
towers.
Collapses economically, intellectually, and morally. And then the real horror starts. If you think I'm exaggerating, just ask someone who fled the Soviet Union or Cuba or Venezuela.
Dude, oh, come on, dude. We got to run that. Even Murad is chiming in from the background. He said Venezuela before he said it. Where's the meme? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. He did the meme. Does anyone have the fucking video? We watched it the other day. This video had no sources the entire time. Yeah, of course not, dude. They're just making shit up. What? This? Take a week off, chatter. No, come on, dude. Here, this.
Here is the actual distribution of
He did
wealth
this,
in
dude.
America.
This video is just this.
Poorest Americans don't even register. They're down to pocket change.
Venezuela.
Start a small business instead. That's true. This is literally fucking true, dude. I love that because like that video so succinctly it describes exactly what this fucking nerd is trying to explain. You know what I mean? Yeah, 4 billion killed by socialism. The real epic own about socialism isn't any of this shit. It's the top of the hour ad break.
Its risk and inequities. They prefer freedom. And we should too. I'm Brad Thompson, professor of political science.
Fuck yeah, dude. Brad Thompson is he's goated, dude.